Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Syntax Adda. My name is Raviranjan and this video is the continuation of Java basics. In the previous videos, we covered uh, basic concepts of JDK, JVM and JRE. So in this video, we'll start with writing first Java program. So in order to write program, we are going to take help of IDE and that we already installed, right? So this is nothing but integrated development environment. Okay, so the tool which we are going to use, IntelliJ IDE, which we are going to use to write the Java program. Okay, we have already installed, JDK, right? So this tool which we are already installed, and this is going to help us writing the Java program, and it will convert that into the bytecode, right? Bytecode is nothing but converting .java to .class. Okay, so this bytecode will be platform independent, right? And this class or this bytecode we can run on any virtual machine or JVM which has JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so we'll see how we are going to write our first program. So if you see here, when we write our first program, right, everything in Java is object. What is object? So object, you can just understand this by real-time entity. Let's say a car. Okay, so car is an object. Why I'm saying this is an object? It will have some properties, right, and it will have some behavior. Just understand this one. We'll deep dive into all these things later, but first understand what is this object, right? Or we can say what is the class. So class or object, here we just understand this one. So in Java, everything is object, right? That we know. So let's say this is the car and this has the properties and behavior. What the properties it can be? It can be, let's say, color, one of its property, right? It can be blue or yellow or red car, right? And behavior, you can just understand with the like how it behave, like the car can move. So this is one of the property behavior. So this is one of the behavior, right? And everything in Java, right, we defined as an object. In order to write, create any object, right, we write class. Just understand this. We write class. So this class is nothing but the blueprint. This is the blueprint. We can say this is the blueprint for any object. So we are going to write the blueprint first thing. So we are going to write the class. So how we write any class in Java? So we'll start with, let's say, public class, and we are going to write the with the hello world. Okay, so hello world is my class. These are some best practice to write the class name. So this, the way I wrote this hello world, this is called upper camel case. Okay, what does it mean? So let's say you want to create class with name hello world, right? Hello world. So what best practice says, or what upper camel case says, you just combine these two words, right, and make first letter of these words capital. So it should be hello world. So that's why we wrote it like hello world. So this is the your class. So we write it with public class. If you see these any language, if you see look into any language, just forget about the programming language. If you want to learn English, right, there is some words, right, you need to learn. Those are preserved, you can say, words, right? So in Java, same way in Java, these are like public, class, right? Then void, static. These are preserved keywords. Okay, so we'll just look into all these things later in the course. But for the time being, you just understand how we can write our first Java program, that is hello world class. Okay, so we write it the public class hello world. So this is the class which we wrote here, and it will start with the open curly braces and the close curly braces. This block, we can say this is the uh, class code block. So we can say this is the class code block. Then in that class, we can have, we talked about, right, car, let's say it's a class. It has both properties and behavior. So right now in this hello world, we don't need any properties, right? I'm just going to define the behavior. So what it has some method. So who will execute this behavior? So behavior is executed by method. So method is nothing but the set of instruction. If you see, it is saying just print this hello world. Okay, so we are writing the method with the public static void main, and this is a string argument. This is a string array arguments which we are passing, and we are printing this hello world. So public, if you are writing, it's like this is the access, how you are going to provide the access to this class, right? So for the time being, just understand this is a public, this class can be accessed by in any other class. Okay. Same way, this public, if you are declaring with the method, this is the method name. Okay. Method name, if you are writing method name, for method name, we always follow lower camel case. So this is again on your choice. So lower camel case. What is this lower camel case? So let's understand. If you want to, give the name of your method as, let's say, print line. Let's say you want to give method name as print line. So what lower camel case says, just combine these two, but instead of making first words later capital, just start with the second words, right? So we can just type print line, L with the capital. So this is called lower camel case. We'll start with the, a small letter, and then we'll keep on going with the capital letter in each words. Okay, so this is your lower camel case. And this static keyword will, we have declared so that JVM can call this main method. This is your execution point. Okay, so this is your execution point. Just understand that this is the execution point. Okay, so when this class is getting executed, JVM will call this main method. Okay, once this is called, then it will be able to print this hello world. Okay, and it has return type at void. This is nothing but your return type. We'll talk about this, these keywords later, but for the time being, you understand, in order to write any class in Java, right, we have public. Then if we since we are declaring this hello world as class, so we'll write class keyword here, right? And then we'll have one method here. We are going to include one method that is nothing but behavior, right? So since this is the class, it will have one behavior also, right? So we are writing public static void main, and we are passing this argument. This is strict rule. We have to pass this, right, in order to invoke this method. So public static void main. Main is the method name. Void is the return type. Static is the this is the special keyword, right? So without creating the object of this class, the JVM can call this main method. Okay, when we try to execute this bytecode on JVM, this main method will always have some behavior, right? And what is the behavior here? So we are going to print, if you want to print some line, right? So you can use system.out.println, and then we can print hello world. Okay, and every statement is close ending with semicolon here. So that is the syntax here. Okay, so this will be your overall first Java program. So let's see this in our IDE, how we can create our first program in IntelliJ IDE. Once it is launched, you will be able to see the screen, right? So since we are going to create our first project, so you can just click on new project. So a pop-up window will be shown like this. Okay, so here I'm whatever the project I'm going to create, I'm going to keep in this location. This will be my workspace. So if you'll see here, I can just going to create the project with a name hello world. I will say project, hello world project. Okay, and this is the location where it is going to keep my project. And I'm going to, this is the place where you can choose the JDK version, right? So here you can go to the drop down and you can choose the JDK which you have installed, right? And if you are not aware of how to install JDK, I would recommend you to go to my previous video on JDK. Okay, so I am just pointing it to JDK 17. Okay, now click on create. So once we click on create, we'll be able to see our project explorer here. So it will have the source, right? The git ignore. If you want to commit this code, what all files needs to be ignored, that those information will be there. It will have the some project information, then some libraries, right? So this library will contains all JDK JDK related libraries. Okay, in order to create your first Java project, right click on this source, click on new Java class, and give your class name as hello world. Again, this is again you can give any name here. So since we are going to write our first Java program, I'm going to print hello world. So I'm giving this name. Just click enter, and then you will be able to see the class. Okay. So any class, how we are writing the class? So with the declaration with the keyword class. So this keyword tells this hello world is the class, right? and public is the access modifier, right? I will talk more on this, what is access modifier, but for the time being, just remember this is the public. If it is public, this class can be accessed by another class or package. Okay. And this block, you see, this is the open, curly brace, and this is closing curly brace, right? This block is called class code block. Okay. Now inside this one, as we talked about, right, every class, right, in Java will have some properties and behavior, right? So let's write, and behavior is nothing but your method, right, in that class. So how we can write one method here? So public static void main, and then write string args, that is arguments. Okay. So let's understand what is this. This is the main method, right? We are defining, and this return type is void. So we are not going to return anything from this method. We are just going to print it, right? We are going to print hello world. Static keyword, this is again the keyword in Java with for some special purpose. For the time being, just understand, if we are writing our first program in Java, so main method will always be static, so that JVM can call this method without creating the instance, without creating the object of hello world. Okay. So if the JVM will just scan through this class and will see this main method, and it will invoke this method, right? So that's why static. And public is meaning this is, and again, accessible, publicly accessible, right? And if you want to print hello world here, right, so we can write this one. So we can just type in system dot out dot, right? So this I'm calling again, this system dot out dot println will print, this will print whatever the things you are going to provide it here. Okay. You can provide anything here. Okay. You can provide either string, or if you see here, right, you can provide anything. You can even not provide anything. You can provide boolean, char, int, long, float, double, char, string, etc. But since we are going to print hello world, so we are going to pass the string. Okay. So we'll see hello world. Okay. So this is our first program in Java. So let's run how we can run this. So first you can just right click on this, and you can see here run hello world dot main. So how it is recognizing, right? So let's say this is a syntax, right? I'm talking about some before executing this one. Let's remove this one. So we started getting this error here. Why we are getting this error? Because it is not as per the Java language, right? So somebody is telling us that this is not correct, bro, this is not correct, so correct it. So it is saying expected semicolon. So this is kind of interactive. That's why we are using IDE internally using the JDK, right? Java Development Kit, which is helping you to write the Java program, right? So we need to write, and any statement under any method with a semicolon. Okay. And also this is very keywords in Java is case sensitive. You can't write P as a capital letter, so it will start throwing this error. So how it is again throwing this error? This is because of the JDK, right? JDK, and also this IntelliJ IDE, right? It is saying, bro, this is not correct, this syntax is not correct, please correct it. So we are, if you see here, what suggestion you cannot resolve this symbol public. So always we have to write as per the language. So that's why this syntax is very important. So these are the preserved keyword in Java. Okay. Right click, and you can see here run hello world dot main. So what will happen, as soon as you will execute, JVM will look for this main method defined in hello world. Okay. Right. And it will print the output. So you will able to see here, this is able to print the hello world. What JVM is doing? JVM is calling this main method, right, and invoking this, and whatever the set of instruction we have given it here inside this method, it is going to do that. So since we are instructing this method, right, the main purpose of writing this method is to print this line, so it is printing hello world. Okay, let's try to just change this method. What will happen if you are changing this one? So what will happen? Can we write this? Can we run this? No, we can't run this program. We can't rename the main. This is the invocation point, right? JVM will always call main method. It will look for the main method, like it's the invocation point. So we can't rename this. Okay, understood? So let's try to just remove this static. Let's see if we are able to invoke this one or not. So again, you see, we are not able to, you know, run this class. Will not be able to run this class. Why? Because we have removed this static keyword. So static keyword is the important keyword here. So JVM will be able to call, because see here we are not creating the object. This is just the class, right? We'll look into how we can create the object out of this class. But first understand, as soon as we remove this one, so static keyword, without creating the object, we can call this method. That's why the static was used here. Okay, so that's why JVM was able to call this method without creating the object. So without this static, we can't imagine JVM will be calling, main method. So this is very important. But let's remove this public and let's see. Okay, right click. Again, you are saying you are not able to, call this main method. So we will not be able to run this. Why? Because this method is not accessible to the JVM. Right? JVM will not be able to access this one. So that's why this public modifier, this is access modifier, which is very important here. Okay. So with this, so how it is calling, JVM is calling like hello world dot main. So that's why you are able to see here when you right click, right? So when you right click, you see hello world dot main method is being called. Hope this concept is clear and you are able to write your first Java program. We'll deep dive into other concepts related to Java programming or language, and we'll see what all features. We'll start with the various basics, and then we'll go to the different features of Java. Okay, so if you like my video, share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe my channel for any upcoming videos. Also, if you want to provide any comments, please don't forget to leave that in the comment section. I will be happy. I will take that as a feedback and I will try to improve my video in future. Thank you so much.